Hello, my name is Julian, and I'm gonna walk you through the preference settings for C-Cube. So, the first thing to know, this is a brand new account, it's completely empty. So, the first thing is you'll notice that you'll have some directions at the top here, so you can follow those instructions and you'll be in a good shape to configure your account. So first of all, let's go and go to the preference panel and configure that. So the preference panel can be accessed from the main navigation on the left, and you click on preferences and you have all preferences accessible from there. So the first thing to configure is the general settings of C-Cube. So if you click on General at the top here, you can add your company record here. My company is called Transcon. I can add my logo, time zone. So if you're not on Eastern time, you can change that. Language settings. You have English and French, and all the holidays here. So by default, all the Canadian holidays are listed in there, but you can add others based on your province or based on your company holidays. Those holidays are going to be used in the production schedule. So if you don't use the production schedule, don't bother with the holidays. And then you can have many different email and print format. So this is where you're gonna configure all the printing and the PDF settings for the quotes, the work order, the purchase order, the invoices, and the account statements. So you'll be able to change all that whenever you know want to change that. So you can change the email format, so classic with the logo in the header, or you can have a text like email with the logo in the footer. So the logo is going to be the logo that you have put in the general preferences. For the print design, you can have classic or modern. You can have a look at what it looks like when you print on either of those. So classic is really like a classic form of print, and the modern is two-column based design with a more modern font used inside. For the print formats, you have many different options. It's pretty well detailed inside what you can do with it. The most format you can change is within the quote here. So let's dive into that. You can create as many print format as you want with different settings and all that, depending on what you want to do. But basically, they're all the same. So you have the format, the document title. That's what's gonna appear in the header, and then you can change the default headers of the templates using a big image, a big header image and a big footer image. So you can put everything you want there. You can put your logos, you can put your affiliations, you can put your numbers or anything like that you want to put in there. So the image needs to be JPEG of 3400 by 600 pixels. This is the ratio that you want to do. Ask your designer to create you an image of this size, and it's gonna fit like a really nice header on the print afterward. So and then you have a lot of options in there, and you can do whatever you want. So here you can have the description here. So this is where all the quote description is going to be. So you can have a title for that section. You can say, show me the price for each section, show me the price for each material line, for each label, show me all each labor, show me all quantities, show or not show prices, show adjustment, have a signature box or not, show if it's presented by someone, how many pictures per page, and then do you want to show the terms and condition and the pictures and stuff. So some people actually use the quote to do inspections. So they're gonna do another print format, which is like everything is off in there, and then you have no terms and condition, and then you just like print the pictures. So with the pictures, you'll have like the description and all that stuff, so you can do an inspection using the same the quote. So once you've done that, you can create, as I said, as many as you want, and you go, for the work order and everything. The defaults are pretty good, so before changing those, just have a look at what they look like and how it works for you, and then go in there and change whatever you need to change. And then you have web forms. Web forms is, a form that you can put on your web page, so that the customers can directly create a project within C-Cube. So if you create a web form, you'll be able to specify the fields. Those are the mandatory fields, and then you can decide if you want to have other fields like this, and you can assign whatever project that's created from this form to a specific employee that you have. So if you can create as many forms as you want. So if you have a division for, I don't know, isolation, another one for the roofing, and those are managed by two different salespeople, then you can have two different form and assign those projects to do two different people. And if you can install that form, I strongly suggest that you actually contact your webmaster, and that you explain, you give them this code, so that they can format the form and all that for you. So this is a little bit more technical, but that's how it works for now. Uh, the After that, this is, you have the users. This is where you create your users. You have, within the users, you have like the roles. I suggest, all again, to go and look at the support article here to know what roles to assign your team, each of the user within your team, so that they access exactly the information that they need to access. So if you give administrator to everyone, they'll be able to change everything and delete everything as they see fit. So make sure to check the support article for that, and yeah, and you can create your user. This is the to subscribe to C-Cube. I'll let you have a look at that. And then you have the project and the reviews settings. So within the project, you have the general, the quote, the invoice, your materials, your assemblies, your quick works, and your checklists. For the general, this is the project general. So the next project number. So this is where you'll put your project sequence in there. As it says in there, the project number, it will always increase the last number. So make sure that you have enough zeros. Let's say if you plan to do 10,000 projects within a year, just make sure you have enough zeros in there, so that it can increase correctly without changing the date, and stuff like that. So and then you have a lot of settings. As I said, there's a description for each of them, so make sure you read that. If you have any questions, just click on the smiley at the bottom there and ask a question to the support team. And then you have the sources. This is to know from where your business comes from. Work type. So this is, again, if it's to differentiate all the projects and have filters on that. Technologies. So you can have different technologies, as I said before. If you have two division, one is isolation, one is roof, then you can have those two technologies be the differentiator for those projects. Project type, you can have property type. Property type is where you'll put, let's say you have heavy industrial versus residential. Sometimes people don't get paid the same if it's if it's one or the other. So you can put that in there. Communication status, this is where when you create a project and you call back the client. So this is where this is to follow up on that. Trades is what your employees are doing. So if you have one or two trade, you can put that in there. Rates is how you pay your employee, as it says in here. This is for the quote and invoices. So this is a global rate for that kind of trade. If you want to put individual rates on different employees, then you go into the employees record themselves, and you can assign a different rate for those, so that this employee rate will be used for the project costs. For the units, you can create as many units as you want. This is used for the materials, and it's nice to have all of them. There's a pretty good defaults in there, but you can add whatever you want. Material calculation variables. This is used for within the materials to actually create have data for the assemblies afterward to do calculations on those. And on projects, you can also add other fields. Those fields are, you can add those fields and add any data you want. So if you want to have, let's say, a serial number or a product type or something like that, so that you can have that on the projects, you can add those. For the quotes, so the same thing with the next quote number. You have the next quote, next project number. This is the same way it works. The terms for your quotes, you put them in there. Email template. This is when you are gonna send the quote. It's gonna use that template. As it says in there, you have special keys with percentage sign, so that it's going to be replaced by those by the username and the telephone and the email of the employee sending the email. Quote reminders. So this is to follow up with your quote automatically. So the CQ has this nice feature that if you enable this, whenever a quote is in the presented status, it's gonna resend the quote automatically to your customers and let them know that they have a pending quote with you, and maybe accept or reject that quote. So you can specify here up to 3 different reminders, and after that you can also specify that it goes to a different status afterward, after those 3 different reminders. So there's defaults in there. You can change the numbers of days depending on your business. And then you have where was I? You have the invoices, same thing with the invoice number, invoice term, also same thing as the ones in the quote. So you can put the payment terms in there. Email format, the same thing as in quote. Do you want to generate an invoice? So whenever you have a quote and the quote is 1, do you want to automatically generate an invoice from that? By default, it's no. You can put it as yes if need be. And then also you have the taxes. Here you have the taxes that you can set. If you don't want to use a tax, you just put 0 in there, and it's not going to be used. Also, you have the materials here. You can import materials. We have a separate video on that, on how to import materials, and you can also create materials. Again, the same video used to import material talks about how to structure your material list. So go and watch that. Assemblies, you can create different assemblies in here. So assemblies are calculations to help you quickly estimate your quotes. Again, we have a different video just explaining how to create an assembly from scratch. So be sure to have a look at that too. Quick works are templates to actually create quotes really quickly. So you just pick a quick work, and it's gonna create all that text, and you can add checklist, and you can add time and all that stuff already within the quick work, and use it directly on your quote. And then you have checklist. Checklist is to actually have a checklist on your work order, so that the team lead can actually check those boxes whenever something is completed on the page, sorry, on the job site. So you can create that in here. For the reviews, you can decide to publish or not publish reviews based on the number of stars. So if they have more than 3 stars, you can automatically publish those reviews. By publishing a review, the thing it does is that every email that you send to a customer will have a review attached to it. So it's gonna put the review with the stars and all that stuff attached to the email it's sending to the customer. So make sure you have good reviews. You can also, whenever you close a project, a review request is sent. So a review request is sent whenever you close a project. So make sure you close the project really when the project is completed and you've done work. Otherwise, you just cancel it. So the review request here, you can have you can have 3 review requests sent with different days between them. So right now the default is after 1 week and after 2 weeks, and you can change the text here to better fit your business and your communication style. All the reviews are gonna end up here in the review, and you can consult them. You can see which project they're attached to and all that, and you can publish them directly to Facebook if you have a Facebook page for your company. So that covers pretty much the whole preferences settings that you have on C-Cube. Make sure to watch the other videos on materials, assemblies, quick works. And if you have any other question, just contact us by email at support@ccubeapp.com, or directly click on the chat here, and we'll be able to answer all your questions. So have a good day.